A couple days ago, it was May 4th. So let's just say May the 4th be with you. And it applies to today's show because we're going to be throwing out the old pill bottle, diving into the sci-fi future of cellular health. We're going to show you how dissolving a simple lozenge between your cheek and your gum can radically transform your energy, sleep, and mood. We're going to get into it right after this. Welcome, everybody. This is the Life Enthusiast Health Shots podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I want to welcome you. I'm Scott Paton, co-host. Joining us as usual, health engineer Martin Pytela. Hey, Martin, how are you doing today?
Scott, I am in awe of your radio voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So most health advice comes in a one size fits all. But your biology isn't. It's not one size fits all. We help people move past generic industrial medicine to find the specific natural path that naturally restores your body. Your body has everything it needs to fix things that are wrong. We know that because when we break an arm or we break a bone, we make it not work, and then it miraculously heals itself. And that applies to a lot of different aspects of our life. So, Martin, before we get started with talking about the Star Wars future of health, I want you to share a story you were telling me yesterday about one of your customers.
Yeah, it was quite comical. She calls and says, Martin, I need to talk to you. I'm in trouble and I need a reset. She had done metabolic typing with me some time ago. And so I looked it up and I say, okay, I see it. You're dominant as fast oxidizer, secondary as parasympathetic, and your endocrine dominance is thyroid. You are the ideal candidate for being on a keto diet. She said, yeah, I did so well when I was on a keto diet. But then I kind of got distracted. I was stuck in a city, a house sitting somewhere, and things got off the rails. And then I met this colon hydrotherapist who's a vegetarian, who's advising me on going on this macrobiotic vegetarian type of a diet. And I have gained a whole bunch of weight and I feel terrible. And of course, I'm just thinking, come on. You already had it dialed in. You successfully controlled your weight. You felt good. You knew what did it. And then somehow you lost track and you lost yourself. And then you went following an advice of someone who did not take into account this biological individuality. This is what happens to a lot of people, where they get treated by a person who believes that everybody's like themselves. And then they start telling you to do exactly what they did. And that's going to be the perfect solution. Well, yeah, there you have it. It only works if you get lucky and meet your biological clone.
Exactly. Hi, George. Glad to see you joining us. And Martin, your story that you just shared happened to me 2 days ago because I have not had bread. I have not had rice. I've not had really potatoes. I haven't had any pasta to speak of for over a month. And I broke down 2 days ago and I got 2 croissants and a spinachy croissanty thing. And I felt so bad the next day. It was amazing. And I think of it as, we we're being poisoned by some of this industrial food. But you don't notice it because you're just used to it and you think everything you're feeling is normal.
Right.
Then when you cut it all out for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and your body starts going back to the way that it naturally should be, and then you go back and do that dumb thing, it wasn't like, oh, I feel like a little, slow. I felt really, really awful. And,
Scott, there are people who drop 30 points off of their IQ eating something with wheat, like pizza or sandwich.
Yeah. And so anyway, I know this stuff works for me because I am two croissants is not going to add 20 pounds onto my waist, but I am down 1 notch on my belt buckle from about a month ago. I had a real problem a month ago because I was in a bad environment. There was too many cookies and chocolates laying around. And so the old saying, I can resist anything except temptation. So let's talk a little bit now about bypassing the digestive system and getting effective absorption of nutrients. One of the things that are popular in the naturopathic world, I know, is people going in and then they get needle stuck in, and then they have a whole bunch of stuff like vitamin C or whatever go into their body, and they sit there for an hour. That's not what we're talking about.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, the ingress points, right? The natural way of getting stuff in is you swallow it. The other, less common way is that you hold it.
Still natural, right?
Still natural. You hold it in your mouth long enough for it to dissolve and absorb through the soft tissues. Remember, we have when you swallow it quick, it hits the stomach and it gets assaulted by the highly acidic environment in the stomach. If you hold it in your mouth, it stays in the alkaline environment of your mouth and it absorbs under the tongue or through the tissues that are between your gum and your cheek. They call it the buccal area, right? Like you can be on the lingual side, which is the tongue,
under the tongue,
Greek talk, and buccal, which is the cheek side in Greek talk again. And then, of course, you can snort it up your nose, and then you can push it up into the anal opening, because that's where it's also highly absorbable. The hemorrhoidal plexus down just inside your sphincter is highly rich in blood vessels. Lots of traffic there, so you will absorb stuff really, really well.
So by doing this, we have direct absorption. It bypasses the digestive tract, doesn't get broken down by the acid and all that sort of stuff, which is a big problem. Like, there's nutrients that we want to have, and we can't really get it into our body because it's destroyed by our digestive system.
And then there's the even faster, which is you stab yourself, put it intramuscular,
right,
or subcutaneous, or intravenous, right? And that's for professionals. We don't do that. We don't break the natural barriers. I don't like doing it because I think that's the unnatural way.
I like the way you said it once to me many years ago, which was, we have the outside and then we have the inside, and our skin is to protect us from the outside.
Yeah.
Because there's all that stuff. And so every time you make a hole, you're adding opportunity for outside stuff to come inside that shouldn't be coming inside.
Yeah.
Which is not to say don't get a needle or whatever if you're in an emergency situation, right? But if you're not, then think twice about it.
Yeah, well, because you're bypassing the natural protection, so you better know what you're doing.
Right.
And our magicians sometimes give us things that are highly harmful, pretending that they're not.
Right. And so this is also a very convenient way for us, because, I mean, people are always chewing gum. They're always putting breath mints in and that sort of stuff. It's not like this is something we have to sort of figure out and do correctly for the first time. So We've talked a little bit. So we've got a series of products. We're really excited to share these products with you because they're pretty much brand new and
To us anyway.
To us, right?
But it is actually quite revolutionary, right? Like, I mean, chewing tobacco is not a new thing, right? You take a pinch of tobacco and stick it between your gum and your cheek. Ta-da.
Right. Yeah, and then you spit it out as you get too much stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to say about these products is they come in a lozenge, but you can split it into, I think, 4 separate pieces.
Yeah, it's a square thing that's scored vertically and horizontally. So it's like you can dose it. You can take the whole thing in one piece or half of it or quarter of it or whatever you like.
Right. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to, and safe and effective.
Yes. Yeah, there goes the safe and effective.
All right, so we're just going to give a quick overview here. This is the digestive gauntlet. It destroys delicate nutrition, so it's a bit of a problem. And what we're talking about is putting it right beside the inside of your cheek and having it being absorbed into your body and bypassing that whole problem. And you've got rapid onset, you've got maximum bioavailability, you've got precision dosing. So, we talked about at the beginning about everyone's individual, right? Like I wouldn't suggest that you start with one lozenge, take a quarter of it, absorb it, see how you feel and how it goes, and then make your decision on how much you want to take next time.
Yeah, I mean, your body size will also be of consideration, right?
Exactly. And we have 4 types. We've got the TRO Blue, Tro Calm, TRO Somna, TRO Immune. So
right.
The blue is based on methylene blue, so it's a super antioxidant. The calm is for when you're feeling anxious or you're stressed out normally. And I'm beginning to realize more and more, Martin, we live in a very stressful society and everything we do is stressful. And we don't spend a lot of time, because when you do something, there's going to be stress. If you're laying, if you want to be unstressed, lay on a blanket on the beach
but listen, you'll be lying on the beach and then you remember what you forgot to do, or that you forgot to shut off the stove, or
did I shut off the stove? I can't remember.
What if you didn't? What if the house is already on fire and the peaceful moment on your beach blanket is gone?
You're destroying my calmness, Martin. And then TRO Somna is, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, is, how to get the proper sleep we should be getting. And TRO Immune, of course, is for the immune system. Yeah. And all right, so let's.
So these really represent the 4 most common major issues that are the downstream triggers for further damage, right? Like this. Yeah. Remember when we talk about preventions, if you can stay calm, if you can sleep well, and if your immune system is in good order, and if you can facilitate successful nutrient exchanges, you have the 4 most important functions under control.
Yeah. So here we have the stress going up and down. And then when you start taking these products, particularly the calm one, you can see it.
Yeah, these are the ingredients that are on this slide that are being mentioned there. Those are the calming ones. Those are the ones that will downregulate your brain chatter.
Yeah. And then here's the sleep. And I thought this was really, really interesting, right? We started, we're awake, and then the reddish dotted line is what normally happens. You get more and more sleep, deeper sleep. And what happens for me, because here I am in San Miguel de Allende in Mexico, right when before my alarm is supposed to go off, there's 2 roosters across the street and they start cock-a-doodle-dooing, and I jump out of bed like, wow, what's going on?
Sorry, Scott, in Mexico, they go kikiriki.
Oh, okay. And what we really want is to drop down into a deep sleep, stay there for a while, and then gradually come out of it so that we're in a nice, calm, clean wake-up state when we wake up.
Yeah.
And
so here you have an illustration of how energy is generated in a human body. This is a schematic of a mitochondrium. 10,000 of these little things are in a single cell of your heart muscle. So these are, this is a conceptual cell, something about the size of a bacterium that's inside of a cell, and it's essentially the combustion chamber of the food to energy conversion.
Yeah. And we have our oxidative stress defense there, which is really, really important.
Yeah.
And then here's the antioxidant action, right? You got this.
Yeah. This is the protection, right? So you need to understand that first you need to, when you're burning food into energy, you're creating oxidative stress. You're throwing off this oxidative action. So you need to also protect from it. In your automobile, you will have the coolant, the radiator and the water and the whatever that's going to keep the engine within operating procedure, operating range, temperature. And so here in a human body, we need the antioxidant action to keep it in an equilibrium, right? So that's the physical performance in such range that we don't blow it up.
Yeah. So these are the four main products, Tro Calm, and the goal is to erase brain chatter, some modulation, the bioactive products, as you can see, and the timing. So afternoon usually is when we're been stressed all day, we were overstimulated, so we want to take it in the afternoon. And of course, the TRO Somna is 30 minutes before bed. The TRO Blue is usually morning, or if you're doing if you're working out in the gym, or you've gone for a long run, if you've done some deep work, hard work. And then the Immune is anytime during the day that you want to take it. It's your daily foundation. And be aware as the seasons change or your environment changes that you may need to take a little bit more. I find oftentimes when I'm going from like Playa del Carmen, which is beach and humid and hot, and then I come up here to San Miguel, which is a little bit cooler, and it's up in the mountains and it's dry and it's dusty, I'm more likely to have, get a little sick, get a little cold.
Yeah.
So I'm careful.
Isn't that interesting that when you travel a lot, then you're stressing your body because you're not just changing seasons, you're actually changing climate instantly in one day. Yeah. And
so this kind of gives you an idea of when you can take it. Obviously, you're sleeping a lot. Then when you wake up halfway through the day, and then in the evening or anytime you want, take the last one.
Well, it was the suggestion to take the sleeping aid half an hour before you go to sleep, right? And you want to take the Energizer first thing in the morning, or especially before a heavy output.
Right.
And then, and the calming one, well, anytime you overstimulated or overstressed.
Cool. All right, so we're going to take a look at the products. So let me just remove that. I'll bring that up. So these are them, and we've got 6 of them, and 4 of the 6 are very similar. There's
those are simply a different size, right? Like the TRO Blue, Just Blue is a 16 milligram, and TRO Blue is a 50 milligram. So it's like 3 times the size of the dosage.
Okay.
So the Just Blue would be the one for people who are just getting into it, or are quite sure that they don't want to go heavy dosing.
Okay.
And likewise, the Immune, that's I think it's double. Yeah, it's a double dose for the Immune main ingredient. I think the main ingredient is a mushroom.
Oh, okay.
We can take a look at it.
All right, so let's start with the TRO Blue.
Okay, so the blue, sure. Yeah, so anyway, methylene blue, as we know it, is a straightforward chemical that is a real pain in the face to consume.
Yeah.
Because when you buy, we do sell it in tincture affordably, but when you put it in your mouth, the whole thing is stained blue pretty intensely.
Right. You don't want to be blue.
Well, I don't mind it. It definitely makes me look weird.
And so here's the description. We've got some details about it.
Yeah.
Methylene blues, a specialized compound. It's been around forever, like centuries. And
Yeah, I mean, and this is the description of how it's actually made, right? So they use polyethylene glycol as the carrier, and then they put it into this lozenge that's got stevia and lohan as flavors, and peppermint as a accelerator, and then they have this patented thingy called bitter block, which is, methylene blue is really quite unpleasant,
yes,
bitter tasting affair.
And then the core benefits are along there, so you can check it all out, get into the details. You can see it's pretty basic, and then we have instructions for how to use it.
Right, and the how to use it. So this is scored 4 ways. So, if, for example, if you starting with the 16 mg, you can split it 4 ways. So each little tab will have 4 mg of methylene blue.
Yeah, I'm so happy that there's a good way to take the methylene blue.
You're still, what's the word? A wuss when it comes to making yourself all blue colored.
Yeah, and the taste too doesn't help. All right, so let's talk about the TRO Immune.
Okay, so if you take a look at the ingredients, that would be probably the easiest way to see what's going on in here. You're looking at cordycepin, which is the extract of the cordyceps mushroom, as the active ingredient. So they don't give you the whole mushroom. They have actually concentrated it out of the mushroom. So you're getting the driver here. And then you look at the other ingredients. It's the same carrier. See, the polyethylene glycol and lohan and the bitter block. And they actually color them naturally. So this one is colored green by green apple extract.
Nice. So yeah, so if you're concerned about your immune system and you want to support it, this is a wonderful way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. It upregulates the immunity very fast.
And now let's take a look at the Tro Calm. Oops.
Yeah, Tro Calm. Okay, so that's an interesting one. So if you look at the ingredients again, I mean, we've talked about it. It's to be taken whenever you are overstimulated, when you feel like coming down from a stressful event. So you have 3 ingredients here. Kavain comes out of the kava. That's the calming of the mind.
It's from Fiji. I don't know if it's from other places, but I've had they make a drink in Fiji, and it basically numbs your tongue.
Yeah, it's a yeah. And then the agarin comes from an interesting thing. That's from a mushroom called fly agaric or agaric. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's a essentially, well, it's not poisonous, but it's the mushroom that's used for setting your internal functioning properly.
Okay.
And lastly, and they add some niacin, and that's the food for the mitochondria. So when you're feeling like you're crashing, the moment you push in some niacin, it's like wakey, fire you up.
Right. Awesome. And then, is it the immune one we got to do next? I forget.
This was the calming. Yeah, you can do the immune. Yeah. Well, no, the immune was the mushroom. The immune was, we talked about.
Now we want to do the sleeping one.
Sure. Yeah, let's do the somna. Somna is a Greek word for sleep, right? So, of course, they go medical on you. So this was the one that you take just before you go to sleep, and you'll see why in just a moment when you click on the ingredients. melatonin, and Agarin to reset your calmness again. And apigenin is a really interesting thing. Would you click on the details? And over here, see that there's the 4 lines there. It's explained. The melatonin is, of course, whatever it is, right? Yeah. Agarin helping you with GABA, which is the signaling molecule that calms you down.
And then we also have dihydrohonocchiol.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing. It's a magnolia bark extract. But anyway, that's helping to regulate the autonomic nervous system to help you have a better control over things. So that's your sleep thingy that helps you sleep in a nice way without knocking you out. Remember, there are these 2 approaches to sleep control. One is to allow you to sleep. The other one is to knock you out so you remember nothing. Right? That's the pharmaceutical approach, where you are struggling to wake up in the morning because you have been just completely knocked out. You're muted.
Can you tell us a little bit about the company, Martin, that produces these?
I like them. They're blue. Interesting guys. I have watched them. They are really engineering heads. They're total gearheads when it comes to this delivery, and they are really well managed and very sciencey and all of that. So I don't know. They have gone big, and they have gone in a way that will very likely not give them any trouble with the regulators. Which
is one of the things we're happy to hear.
Yeah.
So Kevin has a question. Very interesting. I do put a certain amino acid up into my gums instead of swallowing. It works. So I can see the advantage of these Troy Plus supplements.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the buccal or the through the cheek absorption is a reliable method. The main story here is that it goes into the bloodstream quicker, and it bypasses or avoids the destruction of the nutrients by the acids in the stomach.
Right. Cool. So now they're available on the life-enthusiast.com website. We put the links into the into the description and into the comments. If you have any questions, you feel free to go to life-enthusiast.com and contact Martin, ask him any questions you've got. He's happy to spend some time with you. And Martin, we've come pretty much to the end of our time. And is there anything you want to say before we sign off for today?
Well, no. No. Time your pills when you need them, because that's the beauty. Okay, so just to highlight why this is cool. 1, it goes into your system really quick, so you can take them when needed, as needed. You take the Somna, it's in your bloodstream inside of 10 minutes, and you're out. When you take this anti-stress, you take it because you want to calm down right now, not take a pill and wait for 2 hours to wait for it to kick in, or not like some of the prescription things that say, well, take this, it'll take about 2 weeks before you notice benefits.
Right.
Here, you will notice the benefits inside of 10 minutes.
That's why we call it. Thank you, George. Appreciate having you and Kevin on here with us and commenting. Anybody else, feel free to comment. We read all the comments, and if you have any questions, let us know, and we'll do our best to answer them in the next in our next show. We're here every Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. And you've been watching or listening to Life Enthusiast Health Podcast, Health Shots Podcast, restoring vitality to you and the planet. See you next time, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye.
My body's a temple, but the walls are cracked. Stuck in the rubble of the years I've stacked. Stagnation in my veins like a river turned to dust. Toxic whispers in the wind, but I gotta rebuild. I must. Restoring vitality